So yeah, welcome to the Team Liquid era of the Shynock channel, which I know is going to be an adjustment for some of you, and for some of you that might be learning it via this video, in case you have not seen the overwhelming mass of posts that I've had over the last 48 hours, of which I apologize in advance for. I'm sorry, I'm just excited. Yes, I have picked TL as my team, and you all had questions, understandably so. So I'm here to address all of them. I went through all of the comments on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok, and on Twitter and compiled a list. And we're going to go through all of them so I can address all your concerns. And anything that I don't answer, put in the comments and I will answer it there. And yes, this is the second time I'm recording this. I recorded a 38-minute original version on the couch, but it's not uploading to Google Drive right now. So I have to re-record this entire thing. Starting with the first question that apparently also tripped off some people within the esports space. What does joining TL mean or imply or anything else? Like whenever I say it. No, it does not mean that I'm joining the org. I do not work for Team Liquid in any capacity. I'm not on their payroll in any way. Do I have a goal of becoming a creator for them? Yes. Would I love to work corporate as well? Yeah. Like in my ideal world, what I've been saying since 2020, since I started all this, is like, hey, if I could find a way to work from like 9 to 1 doing financial planning and analysis, corporate analysis, like the actual finance side, what those degrees on the wall are used for, so I didn't waste any of that money, and then spend the rest of the afternoon filming content, that would be amazing. That's like the best of both worlds. Is that reality? No, that doesn't even exist. But what this means is I am simply a fan of Team Liquid. They are my team of choice that I am choosing. Double said that, but you get the point. Does that mean that it's extending to other esports? And the answer is potentially. That's why I said Team Liquid in the announcement, not Team Liquid Alienware, because one of the main reasons, and I'll get into this in one of the later explanations as well, is like I'm picking them for the org. It wasn't the players that convinced me to do this. It wasn't like the results of the program or the history or the imports. All questions I'll get answered. But no, this is because I genuinely believe in what this org's mission is, what they are trying to accomplish, their history of proving that. And that's not on the Rift. That is in the business rooms, that is in the back rooms, that is with the owners that exist. And shout out to the hour-and-a-half long video that was put out by Team Liquid. This was beyond instrumental in me picking TL from the jump. This let me get a sense of who Steve is, who the other CEO that I'm forgetting his name right now, and I'm so sorry. And this is like the worst moment to forget it. But just their C-suites in general. It is the business. Do I believe that they're making the right decisions long term? In addition to that, are they making decisions that are in line with who I am and what I want to push for myself, my community, and what is growing the team that I pick? Because like a lot of this whole content thing is trying to grow somebody else's brand that already exists, even though I'm not a part of them, which is a weird dynamic, but it's one that I've been balancing for 4 years. If I find the time to watch other esports, because I know Team Liquid is big in World of Warcraft, I've never played a single minute of World of Warcraft, then I'll put it on. But my focus is on League of Legends and growing League of Legends here in New York City. I know what my goal is, what my bounds are, and what I can do time-wise. And that's all it is. So an easy way of thinking about this is I am probably going to be one of the biggest Team Liquid Alienware fans of League of Legends that also is going to provide you with business updates about the org and talk about it as a whole, because the impacts of the other teams as well as the organizational decisions do impact the future of League of Legends as well, because where do you think your budget comes from? It also comes from TL as a whole, selling the merch and beyond. All of that plays into this. I care about the business. Like that's part of the job and everything else that I do. The second question was, is it going to be hard to fit into a new org? And the answer is no, not at all. Some people, my wife included, were a little bit iffy on my use of "till death do us part" and the whole marriage thing at the beginning. So I will use a much more scaled back version of that comparison for this example. Look, when you are trying to find your long-term partner in life, you are going to go through relationships. You're going to find the things that you like, that you don't, where you fit in, where you don't. And that's been the whole point of this last 4 months, is making sure that I could test out where I feel like I fit in. I've been lurking the Reddits, the Discords, beyond, like not the TL Discord, more the LCS general Discord, and like seeing what the fans by proxy are saying there, but Twitter very much, YouTube and the comment sections there. I've been lurking it all and seeing how I feel like I would fit in. Do I vibe with the general sense of how people react to good or bad news within that community? Are we in line? Am I too ostracized in how I handle it? And I genuinely believe that for me, there was really only two choices by proxy of that, which gets into the finalists. People were asking who besides Team Liquid, and the answer was FlyQuest. FlyQuest was the only other team that I was considering for this decision. And full disclosure, they're the one person that I did need to tell other than Emily about this was actually Papa Smithy, because during all of this, Papa reached out and said, hey, if you do decide to join FlyQuest, we conveniently are near where the 100 Thieves compound is. We'll fly you out to LA and film the video of you like looking at the 100 Thieves compound and then making a turn and coming to the FlyQuest facility. So if I was going to tease and promote like the announcement of this and what I filmed on my own, he would know that it wasn't him. And that would feel like a slap in the face and disrespect to Papa and the people over at FlyQuest who have been nothing but great to me. And I love the program that they're building over there. I owed him the courtesy of letting him know before I started promoting all of this. Like that was a key thing for me just out of respect. But I do enjoy what FlyQuest is doing with short form content. I do enjoy the brand that they are building in the space. I think they're a powerhouse. I will never consider them a rival. I like too many people within that org and what they're doing for them to be like that. C9 is just always going to be my rival inherently. But yeah, they were the other finalists. Like solidly, that you could tell within the community, people were very 50-50 on which one I was going to choose. Some people asked about Sentinels, like why not them? And the reality is I just never connected with Rob as an owner. Like one of the major deciding factors was Steve and his relatability in terms of his path from just like normal guy working in business, making the swap over to gaming, the relatability of Texas Hold'em, which by the way, Steve, if you ever want to have a poker night when you're in New York City, you let me know. And you talk about content and wanting to do everything, set up cameras and let's just BS the entire time. I'm down. I'm not saying I have the greatest poker face, but I do know how to play and have been playing since a young age. Not competitively because I don't have the money to blow on poker right now, but I do know how to play. Don't let me bring my sister. She will hustle you for everything you got. But on the Sentinels front, I didn't connect in the same way. The content was good. Like they had good content output and I liked what they were doing and I like what the brand's growing from, or at least like the base point that they're going from. But I just never connected with them in that way. Like very early on, just the connection was never quite there for whatever reason. And I got to trust my gut in all of this. And my gut was telling me it was not Sentinels. I stand by that. Emily's asked me a few times since the decision and since the announcement, like, am I still feeling good? Have I had any second thoughts about anything? And the answer is honestly, no. I've gotten more and more solid on my choice each and every day as it has passed. Now let's talk about the big one, because a lot of people called this out. And I understand why. What about Team Liquid and the importing situation? Well, I had an exchange with Morgan on Twitter because he congratulated me on the announcement. And yeah, that was a little awkward. But I stand by my original statement. That's no offense to Morgan at all. In any way, shape, or form, I do believe there should be a priority on North American talent. So why would I pick the org that does import? And again, this circles back to the players not being the reason why I'm making this decision, nor the philosophy of current leadership under the League of Legends program and how they choose to build rosters. It is purely the org and what they stand for and what I think they can build from. But on that front, just because I'm a TL fan does not mean that my philosophy changes in any way, shape, or form. You best believe through my content that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be pushing for North American players. I've already said if TL were to sponsor or partner with a tier 2 org, I will cover them in my weekly series that I do on TL. And they will get the same, probably not as much, but they will get a good bit of coverage for anybody that's involved with the program to try and help grow North American talent, put a spotlight on it, put it on the map, and then encourage. I mean, you saw how I handled this past offseason. Just because I'm a fan of TL now doesn't mean that's going to change. I'm still going to push if something happens and there's a North American player that can be slotted into that role. I'm going to push for that publicly. And I already told Spawn, hey, I'm just warning you now of some of the downstream effects of shit that's going to happen. I'm not going to stop pushing that. It's a voice that I have, an opinion that I have. And personally, I don't mind going into places that might have a slightly different philosophy than me and me trying to move their needle to a certain extent. I grew up in a family, not my direct family, but the extended blood family that was very politically divided. I'm very used to going into situations where I'm on the far left side of things. Somebody else might be on the far right, and we have to find some sort of compromise or talking ground to get to by the end of the day. Progress is very slow. Very, very slow. And I'm going to push for some change like that. Like, I just simply am. I want the prioritization. Oh my God, Coco, really? I want the prioritization of North American talent. And I still think TL could be a good home for that, despite what people think. And it's not like they haven't done it in the past either. Like, the evidence is there that they did bring up APA. Yes, it obviously he got traded to a different team. Yawn, a product of their academy system. TL Academy for years was a great pipeline for talent to try and go pro. It was unfortunate that tier 1 teams didn't give them shots, which again, I will be vocal about. That doesn't change. And if you think that I'm crazy and think that that can't change, that's fine. You're entirely entitled to that opinion. And you might think I'm crazy for this, but what I would say is give it a few years. Let's see what the impact is. If I fail on that front, by all means, rub it in my face. But I will be pushing it. The next question up that people had was, will there be any impacts on TL content? And my thoughts so far on their content, which is funny. I just had this conversation. I don't think I'll have any tangible impact on the TL YouTube content. I shouldn't. I'm just a fan. My capacity is to control what I can control, which is my own content. I can't necessarily get anybody else to necessarily do things, but there is an open invitation if, similar to what FlyQuest has done with Ellis and their co-streams, if players want to come on after games and chat while I'm co-streaming and say we do an interview, or if they want to have a segment, there's an open invitation for anybody to be on like my TL video, which I don't know what it's called yet. It's not going to be the rendezvous that was tied to 100 Thieves. I need to figure out a new name for it, but there's an open invitation if players want to come on and just chat for like 6-7 minutes, have a quick little interview segment, and then I'll get back to like the org side stuff and talk about the upcoming week's matches, preview stuff. Like, they're more than welcome to do so. But in terms of like the actual like TL side of content, I have no implications on that at all. My thoughts on it so far is I love VOD review. Like, that's a good start. They are releasing some behind the scenes stuff. I think there's a good cadence, as well as the additional videos that they do that are like non-esports related. I think that's all like a good balance, and you need to have all three there. It's just a matter of getting the consistency down and always making sure that you're promoting like the LCS team, even on the videos that are not necessarily LCS related. You're on the Team Liquid YouTube channel, even a quick plug-in saying like, hey, we've got matches up this upcoming weekend. Come watch. Great segue. And just the thumbnails for the VOD review series. That's the only thing. But what you can expect from me for TL fans, one, you can expect me to be vocal on Twitter. That's a guarantee. You get a weekly series on YouTube, and you just know that my co-stream is going to be biased towards Team Liquid. I'll still be covering every game that I can when I'm not teaching golf. That ticker that I have on my screen, or like the up next match, that will always feature whatever TL is either doing right now, like the current series, or the next one. So say they play on Saturday of week 1 and then Sunday on week 2, guess what? From the moment that TL series gets done in week 1, it's going to be promoting the next week's series to let people know when it's going to be on. I want to help be responsible for why Team Liquid grows a fandom. That's my whole goal. Like, we are trying to grow a hub of Team Liquid fans, not only online, but also in person, which is the final question people had. What about New York City? The watch parties will still continue as they always do. I will co-stream from the venue there as well. My goal is to eventually, if I can continue to, build up fandom in the same way that I was trying to do for 100 Thieves, and we start having local events here, maybe tie that in with the brand in some way, shape, or form if I can start to gain any influence. Encourage other TL fans to come out and watch us. This is a long-term thing. If I was to ever join the org, one thing that I would love to do is get like a New York City specific shirt for Team Liquid that, not necessarily league related. It doesn't have to be like Team Liquid Alienware. It could be, but I think like doing it org wide is fine, because then that encourages like CS fans, Smash fans, and beyond to come and get this. But you can only get it one per person if you come to New York. That'd be sick as shit. Like a limited, like in person only. You have to show up at this thing, and it encourages you to come watch League of Legends with other TL fans and grow the fandom. And then it helps localize here by then also giving back to the local area by trying to host tournaments, stuff like. I've got big plans in like 5 years from now if I could somehow pull all this off and make it work. You all just have to trust me that again, my mission has not changed from the jump. And I think that pretty much covers everything. If I forgot anything here between this and the prior filming that didn't end up working out, let me know in the comments. I'll make sure I get an answer for you. But like, I know there were some people that thought, oh, I did this for the money. Like, I picked TL because it was the secure bet and also for the money. To which I would say, no. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. You don't have to believe me, but the honest to God truth is that I kept the money out of this. I could have, at any point in this process, been like, hey, what are you possibly offering me to come be a fan of your org? It was never about that. It was about me doing this on my own, independent. TL didn't even know that I picked them or that they were the leading candidate until literally the words came out of my mouth. If me and my goals to eventually join the org and what you see as the perceived easiest path there is a cash out to you, just know, and I'm not trying to say this in a braggadocious way, based on the conversations that I had, it didn't matter what org I picked that would possibly be in the runway. I've worked hard to get to where I am as an individual creator in the space, doing so by trying to grow the North American community in any way, shape, or form that I possibly can. And I feel like I've had a positive impact. I feel like I can have even more of a positive impact with Team Liquid going forward. And it's genuinely an org that, even though I said there was a little rivalry with 100 Thieves, that rivalry was always built out of respect, unlike the disrespect with C9. I've taken the last 4 months to clear my head, to get the space, and genuinely fall in love a little bit with this brand. The true emotion comes as I fully embrace it and time goes on, but I opened up my heart and genuinely, TL was the one that answered most. I trust my gut feeling. It has gotten me this far in life, and I will continue to trust it going forward. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting the original announcement and everything else around it. You all, again, make this possible. And I don't want to badger on anymore. I'll be back on Sunday to preview First Stand, talk about the international event. Lion versus Loud should be a ton of fun. And there's a bunch of other headlines that we need to talk about. But thank you all again. I'll catch you around. Bye-bye.